Talk to the viewer this morning. Maybe share what you're looking for, what you're hoping for today.
Yeah, there were a lot of very unusual aspects of this investigation, and the way that Mr. Smith conducted himself was a totally different mode of operation than we've seen from past special counsels, like Robert Hur, for instance. And so, the sort of humility and restraint that you would expect from a prosecutor in this sort of situation, especially one with the unprecedented political sensitivities of this one, simply was absent. And in fact, Smith had to be reined in repeatedly throughout the course of the investigation by judges, by even his own attorney general who appointed him. And so I'm looking to sort of, set that forth, the way that constitutional rights were threatened, the way that this special counsel operation was not the sort of investigation that I think anyone who cares about fairness and about protecting constitutional rights would want to have happen.
We do have Jack Smith, his opening statement. He released it in document form. I want to show you a portion of what we'll hear today. It says this: I made my decisions without regard to President Trump's political association, activities, beliefs, or candidacy in the 2024 presidential election. President Trump was charged because the evidence established that he willfully broke the very laws that he took an oath of office to uphold. My team exercised independent judgment and acted in the highest traditions of the Justice Department in the face of threats to our safety and unfounded attacks on our character and integrity. I am saddened and angered that President Trump has sought revenge against them, end quote. Now, Smith went on to say that he has seen the erosion of the rule of law. How do you respond to those remarks, Congressman?
Well, unfortunately, I think that we saw the erosion of that rule of law in many ways during the course of the investigation itself. I mean, Mr. Smith's conduct speaks for itself. He engaged in truly unprecedented behavior. For example, in issuing a subpoena for the records of the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, for a 2-month period of time. And then not only did he get access to those phone records, but he then went and got a non-disclosure agreement order from judges preventing the phone carriers from even telling McCarthy or other members of Congress that their records had been seized. And moreover, he didn't even tell the judges that it was the Speaker and members of Congress that he was going after. He also had a gag order where he sought to limit President Trump's speech in the middle of a campaign, had that invalidated by a court of appeals that consisted of mostly Democratic judges. And in the documents case, there's reporting by the Washington Post, tried to get the judge removed from the case after the judge ruled in a way that he didn't like.
Are there any questions in your mind that you may have for the special counsel, Jack Smith, regarding his communication with the Biden administration or Biden administration officials? What concerns you there?
Well, he's claimed that there really was no communication, although he did, in fact, meet with the Attorney General, and he's stated that that was part of the process. And something that's actually interesting is that it's been publicly reported that when he presented Merrick Garland with his prosecution memo, Merrick Garland was visibly unenthusiastic, and in fact raised concerns that the prosecution was violating President Trump's free speech rights. So when you come up with a document that even Merrick Garland, President Biden's own Attorney General, said there are big problems here, and then even directed him to revise it under the supervision of the Solicitor General, I think that gives you some insight into the way this office was conducted.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.